Hundreds took to the streets as violent clashes broke out between protesters and security forces in the West African nation of Togo. The skirmishes come amidst rising dissent among citizens over President's recent amendments to the constitution that would keep him in power indefinitely. Now, plumes of black smoke could be seen billowing above the streets of the country's capital, Lomé, as angry protesters burned tires and furniture used for makeshift barricades. Shops and businesses also remained closed as protesters blocked the main roads in Lomé. The capital came under heavy police protection as angry protesters hurled projectiles at law enforcement officers. Further, citizens have called for the president to step down.
All we want is for Farouk Gnassingbé to step down. We'll keep protesting even after the 3 days until he finally leaves power.
The protests have been called by a coalition of political groups called Hands Off My Constitution that called for unprecedented peaceful demonstrations and release of political prisoners following the government's crackdown on protests earlier this month. Now, the president has ruled the West African nation since 2005 following the death of his father. In May this year, he was sworn in as the president of the Council of Ministers, making him eligible to be re-elected by the parliament indefinitely with no official term limits. Opposition parties have called the latest decision as a constitutional coup. And there is more on this from our correspondent Louisa Ulani, who has sent us this report.
Clashes erupted Thursday between protesters and security forces in Togo. Like their counterparts in Kenya, hundreds of Togolese took to the streets demanding the resignation of President Farouk Gnassingbé, whose family has ruled for nearly 6 decades. The protests, sparked by controversial constitutional changes that could extend Gnassingbé's group on power, saw demonstrators burning tires and setting up barricades. Police responded with tear gas, arresting many people in the opposition stronghold of Bay. Civil society groups and social media influencers had called for a 3-day protest from 26 to 28 June, highlighting various demands that must be met. Despite intimidation by militiamen and soldiers, the mobilization continues in Lomé. With tensions rising and more protests planned, Togo's political future hangs in the balance. From Lagos, Nigeria, Louisa Olani, WION World is One.